Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanys from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I'm joined, as always, by my beautiful host, Jennifer Tchaikovsky. Hey, Jen.
Hey, how's it going?
It's cooking. It's cooking.
Cooking is a good word.
It's been a week. Yeah, I mean, those of us that work in our sleep time, we're not getting much of it because we're busy.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
a lot of fun.
there really is. I can't even pinpoint a lot of it, but I do know that I'm remembering some stuff that's kind of, that.
Yeah.
So let's say hi to a few people before we talk too much about the energy. Hello, Hypnicity. And we have, as well, oh, there we go. Kaylee. Hello, Kaylee. And of course, we have awesome chatters, so they're chatting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess they're expecting nasty weather. PMW.
Pacific Northwest.
Thank you.
Would be my guess, I think.
And stewing. Yes.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on. So I'm going to just show you some of the stuff that's happening as I put these on the stage. There we go. So you can see we've had some big stuff here today in the morning. So I don't know whether you guys are feeling that. I am. As you can tell.
Yep.
I'm a little off today, guys. Sorry. It's just it's been a weird day. So we've got that, and we have 24, which actually isn't too bad. We've seen quite a bit higher, but this is a fair bit of activity here. I suspect that it was quite a bit higher earlier in the day today, and that's what it is now. So then for solar flares, you'll see here we've got a number of M class today. And in the last 2 hours, we had a M1.12, but we did have some M's up here. Come on now, show me. There we go. What M3.71. Okay, so we've got some activity going on where that's concerned, and yeah, we have energetically for me, it's and it just feels tiring. I'm tired, and we have some big transit coming up, right, with Pluto as well.
Yeah. Well, Pluto is actually changing transits, and that does not happen often at all. I think Pluto's going to be in this transit now until like 2050 something or other.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
25 years. Yeah.
It's going to be a big shift, and
yes, I like that word. Thank you. Discombobulated.
It's a good word.
It is a good word. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and the energies are going to shift, right? Like you think about Pluto, and Pluto is our transformation. It's the stuff that really is processing change within us. And so it's a lot of stuff that we have to work through, a lot of stuff that we want to, need to release and all of that. So with Pluto shifting gears, that's going to be an interesting energy shift in terms of collectively what we're working through.
So we can thank Planet Oracle for this, and I can just read the little thing you did. So Pluto enters Aquarius on November 19th. So that's tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. Pluto re-enters Aquarius, where it will remain until March 8th, 2043, marking a profound and permanent shift that will shape our lives over the next 2 decades. As one of the slowest moving planets, Pluto's transits have the most significant, long-lasting impact on our personal and collective evolution. From this point forward, our reality will evolve at a much faster pace, urging us to expand our energetic and emotional capacity to adapt to the changes ahead. Pluto, the planet of transformation, is here to guide us towards profound soul evolution, aligning us with the agreements our soul made for this area of growth. This transit will begin life-altering shifts in every area of our lives, challenging us to embrace change willingly or face it through Pluto's restless push to transmute. Yeah, it's hard to accept it, but I feel like it's going to happen. We're going to have to kind of accept it. It's a time to let go of resistance, surrender to the unknown, and trust in the divine plan as magic unfolds. With Pluto and Aquarius, we're invited to rise above the old paradigms and step into a future rooted in collective progress, personal empowerment, and the courage to evolve in alignment with our highest path. So it's about soul evolution, profound transformation, embracing change, expanding capacity, surrender and trust, divine alignment, accelerated growth, personal empowerment, collective progress, and magic unfolding. So thank you to Planetary Oracle for that, and Marianne Savino who shared that as well. She's been a guest on our show. So yes.
Yeah.
So we're in for that.
Shifting happening.
There's that.
Inwardly and outwardly.
Yes. So we all have to get uncomfortable with change, or get comfortable, I should say, with change, because we're all
get comfortable with it.
Because we're all, in general, uncomfortable. So yes, that's right. It's Tuesday tomorrow for that. Hello to Joyful Journey. Welcome. She says hello to Tanys and Jenn.
Hello.
Hoping for Aquarius feminine divinity soon. Well, I have to tell you, if you talk about feminine energy, I found it very interesting because the galactic mothers have been around way more than they ever have. To me, that's very much that feminine energy, right? Sorry. So yes. And Jacqueline says, good morning to you. Good morning to you as well.
Good morning to you as well.
I hope that means that you had a good nap this afternoon too. I did too. And yeah. So what have we got in the human design? Because that's a whole lot of stuff. Let's see what the human design says about transits.
Yeah. So right now, as of yesterday, we switched transits into the gate 14. Okay, so we're going to be in this one now until the 21st. And the gate 14 is about, in the I Ching, it's possession in great measure, right? And so we want to look at what it is to allow ourselves to move in a direction that allows us to feel bounteous. Right. And so the energy of the card, when we're looking at it from the Gene Keys perspective, it's moving from compromise to the city of bounteousness through the gift of competence. Right. So we look at that and go, okay, what is going on with all of that? Right. Because we're dealing with this kind of the victimhood that is associated with it is the impotent mindset. Right. It is that kind of feeling powerless, feeling like you're not able to move in a way that feels good for you, that you're not able to make that change. And so we can come into compromise, right? That energy of, I'm just going to settle for this because I don't feel like I have the power to do anything different than this.
Or the energy right now.
Or the energy.
It's tired, right?
Yeah. And the dilemma that shows up is the dilemma of self-belief, right? This is, the Thomas the train. I think I can, right? Like really being able to hold space for, I can move through this and I can allow myself to be okay as I move through this. Right. And so, this is going to be a time where you might start to notice areas in your life where you have been compromising, right? Where you've felt more powerless or feeling like you've been trapped and you need to escape, right? And so just notice if these things are coming up because, we're given an opportunity with this energy to check into where am I spending my energy? My energy, right? So the universal energy is telling us, check in with your own energy and see what's going on there. The reactive nature that goes along with this is enslaved, right? So really noticing where we feel like we've given over our power, right? And see what that, shows up for us. I was in a caboose in that play in kindergarten. Just now remembered that. So cool. Nice little memory moment.
So keep pushing, Hypnocity. Keep pushing.
Keep on keeping on.
Hey, Shem.
Hi, Shem. And notice as you do that, right? As you, as we say, keep on keeping on, what comes up for you? What is it that you want to create in this reality? The gift Richard talks about with competence is like the fire in the belly, right? He really looks at this and goes, okay, like, where can I, bring myself a light and what really resonates for me, right? Holding that space within ourselves to go, okay, where can I, in what direction can I move that makes me feel really aligned? So that I'm using my energy in a way that resonates for me, in a way that is wise for me, correct for me, and as we do that, we're able
to... correct, in the groove.
Yeah. In the groove. I love that. And that's it, right? Because when we're in that space where we're in the groove, we can tap into that bounteousness, right? Allowing ourselves to really come into the energy that brings forth abundance, right? It's not about seeking it from out here and there and over there and whatever else. It's like really bringing that out of ourselves and holding space for that, right? We talk about so much of the energy that we tap into, and in a lot of different teachings, we talk about the morphogenetic field, right? And so that's in family constellations, and we understand that we're all connected through this field. It's in our genetics, all of that, right? So we look at that and we go, okay, like, what is it that I have the ability to tap into, right? And what is it that maybe I'm tapped into that isn't actually serving me, right? And we begin to notice where we can make these shifts. So maybe I'm tapped into a limiting belief that's, in my family, in my ancestry, in past lives, and so many different things. And if I'm tapped into that, then maybe I'm holding myself in this place of compromise. And I'm not allowing myself to see what else is possible. But what else is there for me to tap into, right? What can I release in this energy, and what can I make space for as I move forward? Mm-hmm. Right? So just notice it, right? If this is coming up for you, if you're feeling it, if it's showing up, right? Especially when we feel this more heavy kind of energy coming in collectively and all of that, there is a piece here where, we might have that tendency of having the narratives, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, it's too much, I can't do it, I just gotta, notice that. Because again, we talk so much about words or spells, right?
Yep.
And so, we can do that very simple test of, I am so tired. Right? And you just feel it drain from you. Right?
Are you calling me out on here?
Versus I'm empowered and I have the ability to get through the things that I need to do. Right? So just notice the difference in the energy, because each time we say these things, we're giving messages to our own selves.
It's true.
Right? And so we hold ourselves in that place too. So just notice it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I know. It's very common.
It's so easy, because those are very normal narratives for us to have.
Yeah.
Right?
Very much so. Thank you.
Yeah. And you're not alone in it. I say that knowing full well that I, get up sometimes like, I didn't have enough sleep, I'm tired, I want to go back to bed. Stop. stop. I cannot carry that energy into my day. I am energized. I am
energized. I am good. I just need a coffee.
Whatever you gotta do. But the more that we notice it, the more, impact we can have on our experience.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, those waking moments, we're just coming out of that theta wave. That's that creator energy within us, right? So if the moment we wake up, our narrative is, oh no, I don't want to get into the world today. I just want to go back to bed. Right? That's the energy we just created.
I don't want to people today.
We just created for ourselves within.
Clear, cancel, delete. Those are the phrases if you catch yourself, by the way. Clear, cancel, delete.
Yeah. Big breath. Sometimes we need lots of big breaths, and that is okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling too. I mean, we're joking about that. I'm teasing her about calling me out, but really it's okay to feel what you're feeling, whatever that is. And then say, okay, that's good. That's done. Now I'm going to be energized. So that's the clear, cancel, delete.
We're not trying to gaslight ourselves. That's not what we're talking about here. But what we are talking about is creating a reality that we want to experience.
Exactly.
Right? And just recognizing that what we hold space for, we will experience.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to with my kids, I not clear, cancel, delete, but I'm like, do you need a do-over? Let's have a do-over.
Let's have a do-over. I want a do-over of last Thursday. Can we do a do-over of last Thursday? It was a spa day, guys.
Oh, yeah. That's a good do-over day. That's not because I want to do it again because I want to change anything. That's because I want to just do it again.
Exactly. I didn't do a clear, cancel, delete with that. It's all this jargon we use, right, with ourselves because it means something to us.
Yeah. But yeah, I know, all of you that are with us are in that boat of sensitive and able to feel what's happening and very connected. And so the more that we're able to really take care of ourselves and honor where we're at and set intention and all of that, the better it's going to be for us in navigating all of this energy.
Yeah. And if we can resist stuff less, that saves our energy for other things. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
that's
I'm not perfect at that. I don't know that many people are, but the more we can have the intention of being that way, I think it will help us to ease through.
Yeah. I think that's the beauty of understanding the transit too, in terms of this idea of compromise, right? Like we so often put ourselves in a position where we're doing more than we really need to be doing.
Oh, very much.
Not doing the things that actually help us. We end up doing things that just kind of take us out of being present.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what she's saying here, right? Sometimes we focus on those energies and daydreaming or remembering good old days. Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely value in that, because you get to put yourself back in a vibration where that you might not be feeling today, thinking about, how amazing the spa day was. Then you're like, okay, that's great. That raised my vibration. And, so thinking about it is energizing. So it's about thinking about or noticing how thinking about the past makes you feel in this moment. Right? With the thought that, I can do that again someday.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, I think, we're so easy to recognize that we think about things that are negative or things that were troubling or difficult situations or difficult memories. And we can notice I'm right back in that, feeling that heaviness again. But I don't know that we understand the power that we have in being able to do that with the good stuff too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I remember, so when I got married, there was this one picture that was taken. And it was like every time I looked at that picture, I was filled with that love vibration. I didn't understand it at the time because it was before my sort of journey here started. But I remember thinking every time I had a bad day, I would go and look at that picture. I'm like, okay, good.
Okay.
So that's the same kind of concept. And I actually have recommended that to new couples, that those particular wedding photos, I think part of the reason they're so important is because it's a day when, as long as everything goes the way it's supposed to, or the way that's, well, take a picture of a time when it is, and and when things just feel really light.
Yeah. I only say that and laugh because I can think back to mine, and things didn't go as planned for everything. Yeah. And there were moments where I'm sure I very well could have been like, oh my gosh, but laughed it off and had fun and was like, okay, this is happening. It's all good. And they were like really memorable moments.
Yeah.
Moving forward. And so even though they weren't necessarily, moments where, you'd think they were things that went wrong.
Yeah.
Right. But it was still really good. So
I know for me, our wedding was outside, and we're getting ready. It's like an hour before 2 hours before the wedding. And of course we're doing the makeup and all that stuff. We were at the location, and they come to me and they're like, okay, so it's raining. So do you want to do it here or do you want to do it here? And I'm like, I want to do it outside.
Yeah, that happens.
Because you're like nervous and everything, right? Mm-hmm. And I was young and well, apparently they heard me, because I did end up getting married outside. They just dried off all the seats, and it had stopped, and it was beautifully sunny by then. So perfect. Sometimes when you put your order in, you get it in time. Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, so it is sometimes recapturing the moments help. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. If they're good moments. Yeah. Sometimes we get in those ruts though, where we can only think of oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. Well, and again, notice what we're focusing on, right? Like, where are we putting that energy? What are we focusing on? Because it really impacts how we feel. Like, I don't know that we always pay attention to the narratives that are going on in our minds, but the more that we're able to notice them, the more we're able to actually take a step back and go, hold on a minute. Like, as much as I'm holding this narrative, I'm feeling this particular way. Yeah. Right. But if I can shift that narrative, then I can shift how I feel as well.
Well, that's the self-awareness. I mean, that's our awakening journey right there, right? Being more aware of where we're at, of our energy. What are we doing? What can we do to change it? That stuff. So, yeah. Fitness City says, my wedding was on a boat. It rained, but it was a great day anyway. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Rained on mine too. Apparently it's good luck if it rains on your wedding day. At least that's what they told me.
I held off on mine. I don't know. I'm not married anymore, so.
Okay, well, maybe there's.
No, I'm saying it held off. Like, it held off. It was supposed to rain and it held off.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
There you go. Going on 33 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rain is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Shall we do a card?
I was just going to say, we haven't picked a card yet. We're already half an hour through the show.
Oh my. All right.
Well, we've talked about topics like focus.
I know. Soul's truth. Here we go. Let's see what they got for us.
You and I, we get off on our tangents.
I know. I talk about funny. I can tell funny stories all day.
That's why we started the show.
I know, right? What am I waiting for? Someone else to do it for me?
Be the change.
Be the change. It's so interesting, right? We're talking about compromise, competence, bounteousness. What is going on? What are we holding ourselves back, from? Are you waiting on someone else before you can take the big
Sorry.
tangents? We should do that. Just pick a topic and just go off.
Twillow tangents. It's a new thing. Kaylee says it's a burn. Yeah, no, not really. It's fact. It's not a burn. It's
you're
fact.
like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is. Yeah, it's a fact. Twillow tangents. It's a thing.
I love it.
Oh dear.
All right. Whew. Okay. Are you waiting on someone else before you can take the big leap? What if you were to take life into your hands and forge your own unique path? Put your heart into action and ask yourself, what risk can you take to move towards your dreams? Make a decision and do it. No more waiting for others. Do it scared. Take the leap.
Whoa. Okay. How many of us are waiting on somebody else to do something?
Or just waiting on something else, period, right? How many people, and I know I can do this myself, have said like, okay, it'll be better when, or I'll be happy when, or okay, I can take that action when. We've done these shows, and every time we do the show, I bring my round to it. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure.
Her round to it.
Hold on. I got this. I gotta run. I don't remember it. I wrote a poem to go with it, and I don't remember it offhand.
I'll wait to the new year. Yeah, exactly. Waiting for the right moment. Yep.
Here's another Twillow tangent. Hold on. No, just
Twillow tangent.
Okay.
Because we're good at that.
So I made these little tuits, right? And the poem that goes with it says, tuits are incredibly rare, especially those that are round. Few are so fortunate in life around tuit to have found. I'll do it when I get around to it, a mantra so commonly heard. With this round tuit, you will be sure to do it, that task so oft deferred. Blessed with haste, do not waste this empowerment your round tuit has conferred.
There we
Right?
go. Kaylee's got hers. She's holding it up.
But again, it is that piece, right? That we so often will put off something either because we don't prioritize it, or because we don't feel like we can, or we feel like we need to, have other things in place before we can step into that, whatever it is. So just noticing, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that we're waiting for. It could just be something going on within us that we're waiting on.
Waiting for fear to subside is a big one for people.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
When I'm feeling stronger, when I'm feeling more rested, when I feel better.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the self-care things. And so then, we kind of get into a cycle. Because we never get around to the self-care because we think that we have to wait until we're ready to feel better to do it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, no more thinking, only doing. Be brave and you will discover what you are really made of. Wild soul, strong heart, can't lose. Right? And so we look at that and go, okay. And I look at this and then I, of course, go into my human design mind, because we're not all made to just go for it. 10% of the world's population is made to go for it. The rest of us have other ways of doing that. Right? Yeah, but then avoid it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we don't have ways to move forward, right? Like we each have things that are happening for us. I mean, 70% of the world are generators or manifesting generators, which are generators, right? It's to respond. So what is showing up in your reality that you're not responding to?
That phone message that I just remembered. Just a moment. I'll be right back. Just kidding.
It is that piece where we look at it and go, okay, what is it that I'm not making room for, that I really want to make room for? And then why am I not making that room, right? Why am I not making the space for that thing, whatever that is?
And most times that's a fear. It goes down to a fear. And so if you're not sure, the 5 whys, why? Why am I not making room for this?
Mm-hmm.
Because of this. Well, why does it matter?
Mm-hmm.
Because of this. Well, why does that matter? Right? And then deal with the fear.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Why
really
is there
being
fear?
able to break it down. And, I think too, we look at, that poem, and now I'm going to have to look it up. What is it?
It's a poem day. That's another Twillow tangent.
I'm so bad for that, guys. Though I love quotes, and then I don't ever remember. It's the Marianne Williamson. So I get that right? The whole, like, our greatest fear, right, is not that we're powerless; it's that we're powerful, right? That fear of shining our light, of allowing ourselves to be seen, of putting ourselves out there, right? I know that that's an experience that we have, and so there is often that also gets in the way, and so it's a lot easier to go, oh, I'm tired. I don't have the energy. I'm not really sure, and I don't really feel like I don't know, and right. And it's easy to put those things off when we're operating, as you were saying, from that place of, I'm not really sure I'm comfortable with that. So why don't I just take a step back and maybe I'll just do it later?
Yes, exactly. That's definitely it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But we also end up missing an opportunity sometimes.
So there's a thing. Do we ever really miss an opportunity? Because I've always, I've gone back and forth. I shouldn't say I've always, because I've always struggled with that piece in a way, because you think, okay, wait, if I don't do it now, I'm going to miss it. But if it's truly meant for us, then we won't miss out.
Yeah, it's a tough one because, sometimes we will get stuff. And if we don't act on it, and that needs to come out or come through, it will go somewhere else in order to come out or come through. Right? Because there are certain things that timing matters. And if we don't do anything with it, it is going to find an outlet somewhere. Right? Those inspirations do have to happen at certain times. And I think that maybe multiple of us have signed up.
Okay.
Right? To say,
I'm getting the message.
Okay, and so there's many of us that these messages and things can come through. And so there is that component of it, but then there are certain things that we've said, yeah, like this is what I'm here for, right? And those things, it doesn't matter. Like we're going to experience them at some point. Right? And
because that's usually those ones that when we're in flow, they flow through easily, and we just have to say yes to whatever comes, right?
Right. Or things shift on us. It doesn't matter how much we fight it, they're going to shift on us.
Yeah. Which is what we're coming to tomorrow.
Right. And so that kind of stuff does happen. And so, yeah, hypnicity, everything happens when it's supposed to. But like, we're called to do things. And I look at that and go, okay, I can look through my life and go, there have been times where I've had opportunities to direct my life in different ways. I didn't take them. And had I taken them, I'd have a very different life right now. And that's okay. Right. I think that we, I do believe that we come down here with options. Right. I think that we don't sign off like, okay, yes, when I'm 4, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that. And then when I'm 10, I'm going to do that. And that's like, I don't think that we do it like that set.
Well, I kind of think we do, but I think that there's perhaps 2 ways to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like we have to learn lessons. So I kind of feel like there's a soul contract there for certain things. But it's like, here's a lesson and here's a lesson. And then our choice is, am I going to do this or am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Before I get to this.
But I think that's more how it is. It's not like I've set my entire life that this is all that it's going to be. I really do think that it is more general in that way of like, this is what I'm going to learn. Yeah. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm here to, bring forth. This is what, and so how we do those things, right, can take on many forms.
Yes, that I agree.
Right.
For sure.
So that's, yeah, it's like a flow chart that goes a little all over the place. Yeah,
Isn't
exactly.
it fun?
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Well,
do.
it keeps things exciting because, you know, we do tend to get into a rut and then we lose that passion piece for life, you know, if we're in a rut. So sometimes those shakeups like we're going to have tomorrow can be really advantageous because they can reignite that passion for creative thinking. That if we're stuck in a job where we're every day the same thing and we go in and we do it and we come home and we you know, there are instances, not everybody, because some people thrive on that, but there's instances where people will feel very stuck in that and that it's difficult to move out of. So, you know, sometimes it's exciting to think that there's something coming that's different, right? I'm one that kind of likes a lot of variety in my day. So if I'm stuck in having to do something every day, I find it a bit challenging. But that's just my personality, right?
Yeah.
Doing routine is I guess I have to.
That's that beautiful manifesting generator energy, right?
Yeah.
You need to have a bunch of different things going on so that you can respond to a bunch of different things,
Yeah.
right? Because you know you don't want to respond to the same thing all the time. You want to be like, oh no, today I really feel like doing this, and oh no, I really want to do this actually, and
Exactly.
oh, I'm actually going to maybe do this a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It
Right.
gives us that opportunity to do different things if we want to. So, but I know there's lots of people that really like and they thrive on the everyday, and I'm just thankful that there are people that do that, that are thriving on the everyday, because you know the differences in all of us is what makes the world go round. If we all like the same thing, can you imagine how difficult that would be?
Nothing.
And awful.
It would be so bad. No,
we think we have division now. Wait till we're all competing to do exactly the same thing. That would not go well.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So diversity in terms of what we do and who we are and you know what we love and all, it's a beautiful thing. It's part of what it makes being human amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, listen to me, all positive.
I love it. I love it. I'm just like, yep. Keep going, Tanys. Keep going. I love it.
I have my moments.
Yeah. And it is. It's, you know, we have a lot of choice. And I know that oftentimes we feel like we don't. And I know that there are situations in the world where it feels like, you know, there really isn't much choice. And yet, in how we operate within ourselves, we do have choice. And to be able to see the beauty in the world and to be able to see, you know, all of the things that are wonderful is a gift, right? Because it's really easy for the mind to see all the things that are horrible.
Well, that's how we've been programmed, right? We've been programmed to notice the fear. We've been programmed to notice all of the more negative things because of fear.
Yeah.
So it's more challenging to, you know. I like the idea of a strict checklist going down her.
I don't know that you'd actually like that in, you know, in theory, sure, but in like reality, maybe.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
just
wouldn't.
imagine though if you put a strict checklist and there's some learning to do in that strict checklist. And you got no way of kind of navigating when you're going to learn that or how. I think it might be good in some ways because it's like, all right, I'm going through this whether I want to or not. But yeah.
Well, you would perfect going with the flow if that were how it was for you. And then we may have lifetimes where we choose to do that, right? I don't know. I don't think that's my lifetime this time, but it will come.
But you know, there are things, and I can, you know, look back even at my own experience and look at, you know, I had an opportunity be with this person or be with that person, kind of a thing,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And, we always kind of think like hindsight's 2020. Oh, I should have done this or I could have done that. We have no idea. We don't actually have a crystal ball that tells us for sure that if I had done this other thing, it would have turned out this way. But we don't know for sure.
But I do have a crystal ball.
We have a crystal ball, but it doesn't tell us for sure that it would turn out a specific way. Right. And I think that this is really important. This is really important because if we look at that and go, okay, no, it definitely would have turned out that way. Right? We're not being open. We're not being curious. We're not allowing for space for things to unfold in our reality. And then we decide immediately that other way would have been better.
Mhm.
Right. And I think that that's a really important piece for us to understand is that we don't actually know that for sure.
Yeah.
Because the moment
it's the story we're telling us.
We cut off any other possibilities in this moment.
Yeah.
Right. And so we look at that and go, okay, here's this other thing that, could have happened. And we can think, oh, I would have been better with that, or I would have, that life would have been better, or, whatever it is. Yeah. It tells the future in that moment, not the future. Yes.
Yeah. And that's because we could go out and turn left instead of right, and it changes what that will look like. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we have to be really mindful with all of that too. Like we're using our own filters and interpretations and things like that. Like even if we're being inspired through it, it still comes through us, right? And so we recognize that. But what's really interesting is when we have these moments where we might think a certain thing, and then years later we find out that actually this other thing happened with this other person, or this other thing happened in this other route that we could have taken, right? And we go, oh, so I would have had this experience either way. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And we don't always get the ability to know that. But in those moments where we do, it's like, okay. All those things I thought, not actually true. Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Most definitely.
Yeah, recovering perfectionist here.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Thinking that everything had to be a certain way.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, folks.
It is. And it doesn't allow for, again, what's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things, in the last few years where I look at it and I never would have I never would have thought.
I never think.
English tennis. Okay. I never did think. I never would have thought that I would be doing some of the things that I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have thought that.
Yeah.
It was the furthest thing from my mind. And it just presents itself. So if you're open and willing and curious, to say yes to opportunities, that's where you end up doing things that you wouldn't have imagined.
Yeah.
That you might do.
Yeah. Right. Like I just, this question, like, what am I waiting for? Right. And noticing all of those times where we've maybe held ourselves back.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, you and I both have talked about our experience of kind of transitioning, like what we do into the more spiritual, right. And bringing those things in. And, in both of our stories, we've shared about the fear, right. We've shared about that part of us that kind of goes, are you sure? Like, I don't know if I want to do this. And how's that going to go over? And is it going to, and being able to really hold space for, like, what am I waiting for? Right? Like,
yeah. Well, I'm resonating with.
Do it.
What's that?
They've already said, do it. You're going to be fine. Like, what am I waiting for?
Oh, I'm going through that with a book that I'm supposed to write right now. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the transitioning piece, because this book is supposed to be like like bridge the HR and the spiritual, very much so, and management, leadership management, and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm waiting for. Like, I have a bunch of notes. They've given me a whole bunch of stuff. I keep thinking, well, it's time. It's time that I'm waiting for, is to have time to do it. Okay. But how do we do that then? How do we move into that, right? And that's where we have to make choices to make the time, or to put aside a little bit of time each day, or right? Yeah, exactly. What's the worst can happen if you simply try? You fail. Well, guess what? That's your first attempt in learning.
Right.
And just because you fail doing it one way doesn't mean that you're going to fail if you try again.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to do things. So.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Turn fear into curiosity. And that's really what we need to do, right? To be able to look at what is it that I'm fearful of? What am I worried about? What is it that I'm unsure of? Right?
Yeah.
And then, I love it. It's one of my favorite lines. What else is possible?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and that's kind of, I've actually been, following that a fair bit. And that's kind of how I've ended up doing some of the things that I've been able to do in the last bit because of that. What else is possible? And just being open to, oh, I just met this person. That's cool. I wonder what's possible with that. Cool. Let's see.
Yep.
Being open to the conversation. And of course, whatever they have to say. Because, they like to point in directions and stuff.
Yeah, they do. And they guide. And it's a beautiful thing. And they guide.
And they nudge.
You go, and they go that way. And we're like, what?
Which way? What'd you say?
Right. And they said,
Huh?
It's okay. We're going to keep on trying. We're going to keep on telling you.
And if they don't get through to you, they'll get through to somebody else. And that somebody else is going to tell you. Just like the Nuck tea thing, right? Yep. They told me, what was it, like 3 months or 6 months before, you need to teach Nuck tea now. I'm like, yeah. I didn't have a manual. I'm like, I don't have a manual. When you give me a manual, we'll do that. And they're like, you do need to sit down long enough to write a manual. Oh. Yeah, okay, well, when I have time. Well, then they sent 4 of my psychic friends after me. You want to learn that thing you do. They're like, yeah, of course you do. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because the messages can come, and they can come from anywhere.
Absolutely.
Right? You can, we talk about, seeing, the angel numbers, right, as messages and things like that. And yet, like, all of the things can kind of happen that way. We're being told something and we go, oh, yeah, I don't know. And then we walk into a store and there's a sign for something that resonates with that. And you're like, oh, yeah, okay. And then you keep going. And then somebody in the line in front of you is talking about something that resonates with that. And you're like, oh, okay. And then, like, it really can come from anywhere. And if we're, aware of it, even if we're resistant, like, we're going to go, oh, this keeps coming. Okay, there's something here.
Well, a friend of mine was in the airport yesterday, and I was chatting with him on Messenger, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really feeling like I should be traveling, and I'm not quite sure if I should. Like, I don't know what to do. And he takes a picture and sends it to me, and it was right in front of him. He said, and it said, travel. I'm like, okay, that's pretty clear.
Pretty clear.
So that was kind of funny. Welcome, Sharon Foster.
Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining
us. Yeah, sometimes they're very clear about what's going to happen or what you can expect.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, here's my sign.
Yeah, quite literally. Here's a sign. Yeah. But maybe, with this energy right now that we're in, taking a moment and kind of going, okay, what am I compromising about? What is it that I do want to do, that I want to move forward with? What is it that I'm being told or inspired or lit up about? And, how do I want to make space for that in the next week or so?
How do we want to make space for that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting, because that's kind of how you start to do spiritual business planning. Part of this book. So you start by, what do we want to make space for?
Mm-hmm.
And you brainstorm about it. Yeah.
Are we really at 5 minutes, Kaylee?
I think we started a little bit later, so I think we have a couple minutes more.
Okay. I want to draw more.
Me too.
Yeah.
I want to paint more. I used to teach painting, and I haven't painted in a while. Although it's not that I'm not being creative, I just tend to do it on Canva.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. But notice again, like all of the things that we put in the way of being able to allow ourselves to do, the thing that we want to do more.
Yeah.
Right. I know, Kaylee. I'm just teasing you. It's more of it went by so fast. Exactly.
It did. It did. It went fast. She based it on the clock.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, just notice within yourself, and feel free, of course, to 4 minutes. I'm good. She's being a goofball. You're giving us the countdown. What it is that what you want to make space for, and then allow yourself an opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And also notice what's coming through you, because if there's something that is really trying hard to come through you and you're resisting it, you're going to feel that too.
Yeah.
Right? Like Tanys, you're talking about the book and all of that. And I know some of you know, because it's been mentioned a couple of times, like I had a book come through, and it really did come through. It was one of those things that, I couldn't not sit and write.
Yeah.
Right. And so, there are also those moments where these things want to come through, and you go, okay, what, am I going to allow myself the time and the energy to do that? Is it okay that I'm making that space? What can I let go of in order to allow that to happen? Right. And sometimes, we don't really have a lot of a choice in that, because if we don't sit and do it, it's just going to bombard us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so allowing that space to, honor whatever it is that does want to come through us.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So I pulled the card, Kaylee. We're good with the timing there. So the card that we do is the Sacred Feminine.
This is your home play.
And this is your home play. And the card, it's so interesting. It says, listen to the song of the birds. Right? And it's so fascinating, right? Because here we are, we're talking about letting these things come through us. And what does a bird song do? Right? It just comes through, and they allow it to come through, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? So let's see if we can find the write-up for that one. Okay. So here, what am I missing? Rocking Robin.
Oh, now I'm going to have that song.
All right. Here we go, guys. All right. Listen, grandchild, you are being sung to. Can you hear them? Turn off your distractions and take a moment to listen to the natural world. Your ears have been blessed with the ability to receive beautiful messages for you. Hundreds of different birds pass into your neighborhood every day. Take notice. Did you know that birdsong heals you? Have you noticed that when you feel a certain emotion, a specific bird will arrive to help transmute that feeling? Watch for them. Listen to them. Like all great musicians and all great gifted healers, birds use vibration to create a change in their surroundings. Get to know their songs and ask them to teach you what you need to know. The birds are your relations and they love you. Honor them with your attention. Right? So again, that idea of making room, making space for healing, for taking care of yourself, and for the messages that want to come through.
Yes.
I'm not, write the book. No.
I got that message. They've been yelling at me since the beginning of the show.
I know, I can hear it. It's
I was trying to nap and they were trying to yell at me, and I was like, guys, chill, man. The body needs sleep. So they decided to do it now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I have a few books that they're bugging me about. So,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what would be Gerald?
Oh. Yeah, he says write the book often too. I think he gets that from them though. He just hears it when they say it, because he's pulled that card quite a few times for both of us.
He has.
Right?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Allow the song to lift your heart. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
It does feel wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thinking about a book. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was a librarian.
I know.
He's all about the books.
All about the books.
Which is awesome. I know it's there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We have a lot of writing though, because we're still working on our classes.
Yeah.
We have classes that we're working on behind the scenes. And,
mm-hmm. Lots going on. And
we got to run the businesses too. We got the admin and all of that kind of stuff. And
yeah. But I mean, we've found and can attest to when it's just time, the time is there.
It's true. Yeah.
Right? Like when you get to that point of you can't put this off any longer.
It's time.
The time is there.
Yeah. They'll make the time if that's the case. I know I've had times where I've been like, okay, I just don't have enough time for anything right now. Next thing I know, I'm getting a client cancellation or, a coffee thing cancels or whatever. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So praying for peace on earth and within your heart. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest thing. And that's the other thing that Jen and I are working on with a couple of other people is putting together a ceremony for peace and love and unity. So stay tuned for that. It's coming soon, actually.
Yeah, the 27th is the date.
27th? Okay, cool. So yeah, very soon.
Wednesday evening.
Uh-huh.
That
would be next Wednesday, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Not this coming, but
the following one.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yep, at 7:30. So if you want to join us for that, we're going to put something together. I guess I will be putting that up very soon, next day or so. So stay tuned, right? Come and join us. I think we're doing it on here, so you can certainly join us live. We want to make sure everybody has access to it. And of course, since there is no time and space, whoever sees it whenever they see it can participate. And that will be the intention that we have as well. So if you can't make it, please feel free to check it out after the date. But the more we can get that day, it'll be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So 27th at 7:30. What else have you got coming up, Jen?
I think that's it. There's a lot of other stuff going on. So I think as far as like lives and all of that go, that is is it now, at least for the next little bit.
Sharon is asking about the date. It's Wednesday, November 27th at 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Standard. So,
yeah.
Because we're in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So, yeah. Yeah, so in terms of other stuff, I have a lot of teaching this week. I'm busy teaching this week, so I'm not going to be on too much on podcasts and stuff. We have our usuals, but for the most part, it looks like I'm teaching 3 or 4 nights this week, and clients the rest, and a day off in there somewhere. So we will see you back here.
Yeah.
At 5 p.m. next Monday.
5 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Next Monday.
Anything you want to say? Do you have anything coming up?
I don't have anything coming up.
Okay.
But what's coming in is take the time to love yourself. Yeah. Right? Bring that love in, hold space for what you want, and see what moves you.
Mm-hmm. Do what you feel passionately about. Because that passion is what gives us energy. It's what keeps us going. It brings in that love vibration. So do what you feel passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
Send out love to everyone. Lots of love. She's got the magic hearts. I just have the finger hearts.
Your finger hearts are beautiful.
It's the love. So we just pretend you're a Care Bear. Just send out the love, and then everybody will get it. Right? So we are sending tons of love out to all of you, and we will see you next week. Have an awesome week, guys.